Oversleeping is a good example of a bad...
Good morning from the edge of Eagle Plains. We are on 7 Mile Hill right about now, I think, and we're about 200 kilometers into the Dempster Highway. So we got about 200 kilometers of gravel, and then about 50 kilometers to get to Dawson City, and then whatever to get to my campsite tonight. So really a pretty attainable goal for today. I'm getting better and better at driving this gravel road, although I am being very careful. Because that's the thing, it's not that this road is particularly challenging, it's just it's remote. Just like we saw with that motorcycle accident a little while back. If you get hurt out here, there's no one coming for you, you know? You're on your own. So you gotta make dues. Now, there's a fair bit of traffic. I have seen some cars go by, so, I mean, like, I probably won't die, but my injuries will be the worst. So... like in the incident of that man falling off his bike, what should have been just a minor back injury might turn serious for him, because he had to wait an hour before paramedics could get there, and then another hour for them to get him out of that ditch. So that's 2 hours plus whatever transit time, plus they probably had to fly him from Dawson City to Whitehorse. So it was probably a good 5 hours before he was even worked on. So, I mean, like, that's a big deal when it comes to injuries, so I gotta be very careful out here. I'm also looking forward to heading south so I get a reprieve from all the sunlight. I feel like this whole trip has been one gigantic day, and even though I am getting 8 or 9 hours of sleep every night, it doesn't feel like real sleep, like I keep waking up because of the sun. And yeah, I don't know. I feel weary. Maybe not tired, but weary. It's time for me to hit the road, make my way south. Off to Vancouver. Alright, let's hit the road. Welcome to the Red River. Slow going down that gravel road, even though it's very nice and it's very smooth as far as gravel roads go. It's still, you know, you gotta go slow and it's hard on your back a little bit. So we're taking a little break here and checking out Red River. This is kind of an interesting little river because at first I thought it was iron deposits that make it red, but it's actually warm springs. There's a bunch of warm springs up in this area, and they discharge a lot of sulfides and other chemicals, which give it kind of that sulfury smell, which is kind of gross. And it also means that the hot springs in this area really aren't the kind of bathing hot springs I'd like. They're more like warm springs, and if I went in them I'd probably come out with a lot less skin on the way out. So yeah, we're just gonna check them out from far. Plus they're hard to spot too because they don't steam, they're just warm. Look at that. Brown.
Oversleeping is a good example of a bad habit, but man's basic laziness has one redeeming angle, because even if a man is too lazy to break a bad habit, sooner or later someone will invent the machine to break it for him.
So, what visit to the Arctic would be complete without a visit to a glacier? The glacier is basically just snow and ice that never melts. And up here they're fairly common because the summer is short and it doesn't really get all that hot, so all you need to find is a shady spot or up on a mountain high enough and voila, glacier. Look at all the snow! Wanna go in there? Okay. Right on. So I'm just testing out my new camping setup. This is not too bad at all, not too shabby. We're getting there. Still got a lot of things to figure out before I set out, like I need real stakes instead of wooden pieces of stick jammed into the ground, but you know, otherwise I think we're doing pretty good. The tent's from Steps to Wander from Kelsey and Corbin. They gave it to me. They're not using this one anymore because they have a family of 3 now. And this is more of a one-person tent. Maybe 2 people if they really like each other, but yeah, I like this. It's nice. And we'll have to do some more figuring out before we set out on the motorcycle trip across Canada, because that is my next step, I think, is to sell the van in Vancouver, buy a motorcycle, load everything onto it, get a cool way of carrying Champ on it, and then we're going cross-country across Canada. The benefits to that is motorcycles out on the west are cheap, camper vans are expensive, so I'm going to be selling the van at a pretty penny and buying a motorcycle pretty cheap, and they sip away at gas, so I'll be saving a lot of money, which will help me save up for the boat. That is the end goal. And when I get back to Ottawa, I'll have a commuter, so when I'm going to work and doing some work stuff to save up again for the boat, I'll have a nice little cheap commuter motorcycle that I can carry my dog on and go on camping trips and continue to do videos with you guys. Anyway, I got these wicked lights. These are really cool. They plug in via USB. They're LED strip lights with this nice silicone and magnetic backing on them. They're really, really versatile and quite durable, actually, because I've been beating the crud out of them for the last 3 months. And yeah, they're from a company called Power Practical. This is the Luminoodle. And they sent me a couple extra just recently because I sent them some pictures. And really, I don't need this many, so I'm going to do a little competition with you guys, okay? Sometime in the next week, I want you to go on an adventure. I want you to take a picture, post it on Instagram, and tag me faultfinding_Simon. That's my username on Instagram. So tag me in the description, okay? So I want you guys to go out there, do something that you've been wanting to do for a while, whatever it is, big, small, doesn't matter. Write about it in the description. I want to read about your adventures. And yeah, I'll pick 2 people to send some extra Luminoodles to, and you guys can try these out. Pretty cool. So I'm actually going to sleep in here tonight. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. The bugs aren't too bad, it's not too cold, and I'm sure Champ won't mind either. He can come join me, and if it gets too cold, we can just go back in the van, because it's right there. Alright guys, good night. See you tomorrow.
Oversleeping is a good example of a bad